And welcome back to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Raven. All right. So one of my subscribers let me know, there's a forum about me and Sherman discussing the meta stuff, and I guess I've just become the topic of discussion. And it's kind of funny because I'm going to take this time to remind players why I became a YouTuber. Now, first off, I'm not going to rag on my other fellow content creators like I have in the past, because most of us have kind of gotten past that. And I'm going to be showing you videos why we've gotten past that from the horse's mouth. Now, at the end of the day, the reason I had to become a content creator for Elder Scrolls Online, let's put it out there and clear the air. I've been MMOing for 21 years. I have been a closed tester for the top end companies in the industry. I have done so much for the MMO community, it's ridiculous. Now, it's not a bragging right, it's just the facts. Now, never was a content creator until I came to Elder Scrolls. Why did I have to become a content creator for Elder Scrolls? Well, it was simple. Because people were ignoring math. It comes down, this forum link wants to talk about math, but the same people posting on it was ignoring it. Was complete in 21 fucking years. I have never seen a community that was so deranged and delusional, it made me want to vomit profusely. Okay? So I was forced to take up arms. So I had to become a content creator. Why? Because they were ignoring diminishing returns. They were ignoring all these different fundamentals of MMOs. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because you have a sandbox game with class-based system. But you know what? Don't take my word for it, because I came in here and I said any race in any class can play any role. It's the way it was designed. But I don't want you to take my word for it. Matter of fact, I want you to listen to the man in this video, Matt Fearer. Now, if anybody doesn't know who Matt Fearer is, he's the executive director for Elder Scrolls Online. He is an MMO legend, right? Goes back to DAOC. He was part of Warhammer Online. This man right here is why ZeniMax and Elder Scrolls Online is as successful in this game. Because he's one of the main headpieces, right? Not to take away from the other devs or any of the other staff members. Everybody's a team. They're, contributing factor. But they recruited Matt Fearer for a reason. Now, I want you guys to pay attention. Listen to his response in this portion of this interview.
And every person here, Nick, Wheeler, they're all about the progression system and about the builds and about the PvP and the AVA. So you guys really seem to have mastered a very open system. Tell us about it.
Well, basically, it's modeled on an Elder Scrolls system where the more you use something, the better you get with it. And you're not really reined in with a lot of restrictions. So yes, you choose a class when you start, but it's a very we're kind of really trying to make the class choice not quite so important as it is in other MMOs. So in fact, I think when you start, you have 15 skill lines: all your weapons, your armor, your racial, and your class. Like, you can choose not to progress in any of your class lines right from the beginning and just go right with weapons and be a weapon master instead of the class skills. Yeah. So we're really de-emphasizing them that way. And in fact, probably you've asked the other guys what their favorite builds are.
Yeah, that's
and
topic.
and everyone has a different one.
Yeah.
And it's like, and everyone loves it. Like, mine is a heavy armor wearing, dragon guard, dual wielding with 100% magicka.
Right.
So I cast a lot of spells, but I'm in heavy armor, but I'm dual wielding. So I do an insane amount of damage, and I do die some, but I do a lot of damage, and I can escape sometimes, but it's a good build for me. Probably not so good at PvP, but it's great for PvE.
Right.
And this is what beta testing is about. It's kind of putting these builds together, putting them out in the battlefield, both PvE and PvP, and figuring out how they work.
Okay, very important what Matt said. They are trying. Now, this was back when it was during beta, and you notice it was done by MMORPG.com, one of the hugest websites for any MMO geek. I've been a member for an insane amount of time. I've done reviews and posts in those certain games in the past. I haven't been on there in a minute, but it leads to the way Matt said it. They're diversifying and keeping true to the Elder Scrolls universe, meaning the more you use something, the better you get at it. And the build what you choose to do diversifies your build, right? That means they never have ever said this content is restricted to this class, this build. It's never been stated ever from one of the devs' lips. Never. It's up to you to decide how you're going to complete the content with said build. Now, I have always said there are better numbers out there, but you can do every content with every role as every class. That is not restricted. Never has been. It diversifies your build, your gameplay, and your experience. But once again, we have players who want to believe in BIS, which is best in slot. Now, best in slot is been introduced in a linear progression MMOs, right? Because you had tier 3 and tier 4. So if you had tier 3 gear, well, obviously your tier 4 becomes now your best in slot. In this game, that has never once again been proven, even by the theory crafters, because I was one of the players who told them, you have diminishing returns. You're not taking into consideration this number. You're not taking into consideration that number. They adjust those values, but yet I'm a lunatic. But if you don't believe me about the BIS, why don't we hear it from one of the top content creators in the game, and that is Outcast. With any further ado, I will go ahead and play 12 seconds of his video.
Welcome. I want to talk about asylum weapons. So the term best in slot, I don't really like it. I just put it into the thumbnail because I knew otherwise nobody would watch the fucking video. There's a lot of good gearing options for both PvE and PvP. Zenimax did actually a good job in that.
Okay, once again, the BIS becomes the clickbait. But Outcast has always been a really great player. There's a lot of options, he says. And once again, it's going to depend on the content in which you're playing, how you configure your build. That doesn't limit us as content creators to making mistakes, right? We're not perfect. We're all human, including myself. So I can even make mistakes. But once again, why don't we hear it from one of the other known content creators who once again reconfirms this, and he is a very dedicated player. We've had our differences in the past. We've set that aside. But once again, I want to go ahead and have you hear it from Gilliam the Rogue.
This is super time consuming, and it's a very open-ended system, and I don't have a rule book that I can just be like, oh yeah, this is how everything works in the game. Everything needs to be tested. I can find error because the testing system that we have access to isn't official, so there can be a lot of mistakes to be made in there. So do take that with a grain of salt, that like everything that I say is not word of law, and that we're all human, we make mistakes, and that it's really hard to make content where a lot of what you're doing can be corrupted by variables.
There you have it, guys. So I'm going to sit there and remind the trolls. I've been doing this for 21 years. I am not perfect. Like Gilliam said, we're all human. We all make mistakes. And like Outcast said, there is no BIS, but depending on how you configure your builds is how you're going to get your performance. And also, Outcast has said in the past, rotation is key. Regardless of your build configurations, if you cannot get your rotation down, you will suffer regardless of the build's performance with one player, because the other player won't know how to optimize its rotation. This is what I've stressed since I've come into Elder Scrolls Online. This is why I do what I do. So if I'm the topic of discussion, the question of it is, why? Why now am I the topic of discussion? Well, simple, because I'm playing the game, as Matt said, with a diverse approach, with the way the devs intended it to be. I am not limited or restricted to content, and I love coming out with the builds for the players who do enjoy them, and I try to approach it for the casual player. That's my goal with the channel. Trying to test, trying to come out with things that benefit players. Might not work for everybody. I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm not going to mislead my viewers and tell them something that is going to hurt the community overall. All right, so there it is. Pretty much said and done. Morning, Lewis. If anybody wants to go ahead and rag on me because, oh my God, Mystic is totally whatever, then whatever. I'm going to remove this. We're going to transfer that, get the gameplay in. But at the end of the day, guys, I do what I like to do in this game. And like Matt said, we all have different builds. We all have different things that we like. That's what makes this game fun. It's what makes it exciting. It's what makes it approachable. So stop trying to be elite in this game. It's one thing I walked away from when I did other MMOs. I played the linear system. I played the games that I had to be the best of the best. In this game, I feel like that's not what I have to even do. Should be called best for player, not best in slot. I completely agree, Papa. I completely agree with that statement. Because the meta is the mindset of the delusion propaganded by the player base. It is not the way it is. It's not the absolute. You know, and like Gilliam said, we have a very open-ended system. So it takes time for content creators to go through and make these builds, and that should be respected. That's why I don't critique builds. Critiquing a build is basically telling a player you're garbage. And to me, if that build works for them, so be it. If players find it resourceful, who am I to argue with that? You know, if at the end of the day, did I approach the player base, made the known content creators in a very hostile way? I had to. I didn't have a choice. The way everything was fed in was so toxic that it just was overflowing and spilling into the community, overlooking all of the potential that the game was designed upon. So I didn't have a choice. I didn't have an option. Hence why I became a content creator. It was just that simple fact alone that made me take up the arms and come out with the builds to show the viability and its potential and show what you can do with Elder Scrolls Online. And that's what I live with, you know, and I'm happy with those results. Does it mean I don't get a lot of subscribers? Of course. Do I put in clickbait like best in slot? Of course not. That's the things I don't want to do. I want to provide the content as I'm playing it and as I see it. If I make a mistake, which can happen, I'm not going to go ahead and say, well, something got fucked up. No, we're all human. We all can be wrong. That's the best thing in life. I don't have pride. I'm not a prideful person. But at the end of the day, what do you want to do? I mean, do you want to go ahead and cut cookies the rest of your life? If you're a cookie cutter, sure, go ahead. Have at it, you know. I'm not going to go ahead and judge you in an ill way just because you like that build and you don't have the time to test something and come out with something unique. That's not, you know, that's not something I'm going to rag on you about. But don't expect me to conform to your way of playing because I get the content done and I'm happy with it. That's what I do. I'm playing to have fun. I'm not playing to go ahead and say, oh, this is this and oh, this is that. That's bullshit. It's just complete hogwash. It's crap. What should I do if I'm stuck on deciding what class to play between Templar, Warden, and Sorc? If I play Healer in DPS in PvE and DPS in PvP. Alright. The thing about it is, Panther, if you continue to watch the video with Matt, you can kind of do everything with whatever. Right? Basically, like my DK is a prime example. My DK has 4 to 5 different build configurations. I have to readjust those champion points and my morphs. That's the bad thing about it. So the main thing you want to ask yourself is which class gives you the most fun in all 3 regions? You know, as healer, as DPS, and in PvP. If Sorc, if you like the, you know, movability of the Sorc, and you like to PvP with the Sorc, why not roll a healer with the Sorc? Why not do PvE damage? If you don't like the DPS and PvE, but you like the healing of the Templar because, you know, it's flexible, you also like PvPing with it, that's what you should go with. Love the channel, though. You speak straight facts and opening my mind to a bigger variety of builds. I'm so happy about that, Panther. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's what this game's designed upon. Letting you explore the options. My motto for the channel is embrace the possibilities, right? This is Elder Scrolls Online. You are not limited, you're not restricted, but there are practicality in builds. You have to be a little familiar with that. If you can be familiar with the practicality of what you're trying to accomplish, you can accomplish many different things. And that's what I stress to the viewers. That's what I stress to the community. Stop chasing fairies and leprechauns and all other sorts of mythical creatures, right? Because it's a myth. It's a theory. I'm not a theory crafter. I'm a class builder. I build the class to its function and its performance. It took me 4 different tunes to figure out what I wanted and what works best for me. Yep, Papa, I agree. And that's why I play so many characters. I have 21 characters on 2 platforms. 21. That's max. And to me, as a content creator, I have to keep pushing myself for you guys. That's what I do it for. You know, at the end of the...
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to ESO Daily. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. But at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to do, man. You know, the devs did such a great job. The content creators are good. They're skilled, and they're trying to provide the content. It just got toxic along the way. That's all that happened. I had to come on and say, oh shit, what did I walk into? And it was like, okay, well now I have to go ahead and put forks in everybody's asses, be the bad guy. I had to take it up. I had to be the bad guy. It's reverse psychology, honestly. By me portraying myself as a bad guy and coming out with the builds that are viable, essentially what it's doing is basically, it comes back down to the math. It always comes back down to the math. Panther, if you haven't tried it yet, give the Sork Healer a try. It's awesome. I love the Sork Healer. Love it, love it. One of my subscribers just got to do Vet Hard Mode Trial with the Sork Healer. I don't know what other healer she was paired with. And that to me is one of the testaments. ZOS takes into things in consideration, and since Morrowind, those changes have been detrimental to the other healing classes, because one of the things that was toxic was Templar offering the shards. That was the only separation, was the utility for Templar. Templar is great healer, always will be. You know, its resources is what derives its difference from the other healers. DK mitigates, right? Sorks have a tremendous shitload of healing with some utility, but a lot of CC options to offer your party members. Then you also have, you know, the Warden, which gives that minor toughness, making dungeons a lot more easier, especially in those thresh moments when you're getting mechanics. People are dying due to mechanics. I used to watch Gilliam, then I watched you, and I was like, Gilliam is just stupid. They always said any class, any role, but I've never seen him play a healer. Well, and you know, Gilliam has stated he prefers the Nightblade, but he tests all DPS classes. And I think now he's getting out of his comfort zone. Last couple of videos, Gilliam's exploring, and I think he's having fun. And I think in future episodes from Gilliam, you're going to see, you know, this is what you can do with this build in this situation. This is what you can do with this build in that situation. And he's helping Deltia, and those things are improving. And I think Gilliam is in the right path. And Outcast has always been a good player. They've all been great players. So I really anticipate their content to be a lot more open in the future and show what each build can do and basically say, hey, we got this build for you. It's how it's performing in this content and that content. And that's what I really want to stress out. As good source, I'm looking for another set with my Julianus for my Sork, but I CBA farming Netch Touch. Any suggestions for DPS? So you're using Netches and Julianos. One of the builds I have going on, depending on if you like Power Overload. A lot of people don't like Power Overload. One of the builds that I like is my Tesla coil build. I use Elegance because the Elegance will proc the power overload at a higher, because power overload's considered the light attacks turn into heavy attacks, and it scales with off of Elegance. So it's one of the best builds. I really like pairing with Juliano's currently, and I can still use that in Nirnholm. But I use currently I use Kina because I do a duration on rotation, then heavy attack weave. But somebody said they didn't like the Kina, and they ended up going with the Inferno staff instead, sacrificing their AoE damage and going with Lambrus, and that works. And I was like, okay, cool, you know. That's why I said, you know, so if that's an option. Also, you can go with oops, sorry, my daughter just kicked my butt because I forgot to wake her up. Crazy. I really want to try Mystic's Warden Stam Healer. I love this supportive style of healing. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I love it. Turned out a lot better. To me, that build isn't going to be as trial, you know, oriented in typical trials. In the new one, if you play vet and you can get it down, you need a support role, and that's what that build could offer. I haven't tested it yet. I don't know, but I can see using that type of configuration in Sanctum, the Sanctorium. Go for it, Lewis. I would love to hear how you like it. And speaking of, there's Mustang. She's a Sork healer. She's got many classes, but that's one of my subscribers who do Sork healing. We all just needed Mystic Raven to come down from the heavens and shed light on us. I want to know about that. But like I said, when I came into Elder Scrolls, I was just shocked. I was completely, utterly blown away with a couple of the things that was just being, you know, misled, you know, and that to me was like, what the fuck did I walk into? And as a former elitist, and I do mean former dick, I should say, to me, I was mind blown that a community was, oops, you're busted. Yeah, my daughter's pissed. I was mind blown that they were ignoring the fundamentals of MMOs. Now, Matt has been one of my inspirations. Now, I used to play the AOC, which is Dark Age of Camelot, and I didn't play for very long. Like I said, I had a lot of other MMOs that I was involved with, and I had other things, and Endgame meant something to me back in the day, though the Siege engine was so unique back then that you really realized what Matt and Mark did for the MMO industry. You know, like I said, they're legends in this, and ZeniMax picking them up was probably one of the best scenarios you could ever encounter. You know, just picking up, you know, Matt the way he did. I gotta drop something. I'll drop that for now. Vollenfeld. Do a little content. Alright, so I'm going to drink my mead. Go and apply my food buff. Gotta switch out a skill too. And let's go to skills. And I gotta switch out one thing. My orbs. I was running around doing those quests. And like I said, I'm not bagging. I'm not gonna rag on content creators. It's not one of Elden Hollow 2 and Vollenfeld. But I'll do a random because I really do need that XP. Need it, need it, need it. I don't want to cherry pick. I don't want to highlight things in a way that players don't think that, you know. I don't know, man. Elden Hollow 2, sweet. 2 birds with 1 stone. That's what I'm talking about. But honestly, the devs have done a really good job, and they're making it better every day. You know, it takes time. Some of the things, I think when they first came out, they were kind of limited. They kind of threw things together, didn't really take a look at, you know, okay, well, what if, you know, we're going to try to put a Nightblade in a, you know, a trial situation. What does it lack? What does it need? At first, you're taking a look at it from a developer standpoint. Well, like, well, this is a hot build. This is a direct heal build. They work great together. So from a developer standpoint, it's like, it's a perfect match, because now you have someone who offers resources and direct heal. You have somebody who offers the hots. You know, that's ideally what they... Music, my trial healer, were Sork and Nightblade healers. I love both of... Like, I like... Sork healing in a trial was great. When I did it, I was like... After Morrowind, I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. You know, loved it. Nightblade healing, always loved it. You know, it took off pretty good. And DK healing, though, I really did get asked more often to do DK. Really appreciate for what you've done to make the game fun again. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. That's it. I'm just trying to make the game fun for players. I don't want... It gets boring, right? You know, the nostalgia starts wearing off. You know, if after 1 or 2 characters, and if you keep doing the same shit over and over again. Hit my balls. Please hit my balls. Hey, Mystic. For a stamina, I have the ultimates unlocked. I'm thinking a monster set, 1-piece Crags, 1-piece Slime Crawl, Night Mother's Gaze, Spriggans, 5-piece, and Lover. Okay, is that for PvP? Because if it is, you got something point on. You'd have all your penetration. You'd have, you know, yeah, I'm feeling you on that there, Storm. If you're talking PvP, I completely, 100% agree with that whole thing. Oh shit. I feared. I hate when it does that, when you weave and you're trying to like switch out and it still has the weave animation going down. Oh my god, so sorry. Should have been Mystic's damn phone. Hit my balls. I swear, that's all I want him to do. Just hit my balls. I'll be happy. I promise. Now, I feel like there's a couple of things that ZOS could improve upon with each of the morphs, options, classes. So, in a lot of ways, I agree with Gilliam when he takes a look at certain things. Not everything, but I'm going to go ahead and hit this for a little cushion until, because they're separated so bad. What is that, Templar tank? I think so. Wonder what his resistance is at. PvE, maybe PvP. I can see both aspects depending how you set it up. PvP, that's solid. That's a solid config, Storm. PvE, it's just about, you know, if you're going to be using Lover, you're going to be lacking on the crit on that, though, I feel. I feel you're going to be a little under. That's the only thing. You could go with the Maul because you already have penetration. So your penetrating set and your Maul would cover the distance. You can go with the Thief to make up the value loss. So you'd be good in that way for a PvE build. PvP, you don't necessarily need the crit. So, because of Mystic's balls, I now prioritize any balls thrown my way when playing. If it's in your face, you should hit it. Okay. Once again, I want to keep everybody buffed up, healed up, get that Warhorn in here for now. DPS is ignoring the ads. That's not a good thing. Get these. Can I get an arrow? Yo, where's your endless hail, man? AoEs. I'll bring it. Now remember with that torment, even though you're sacrificing that life, you're getting that minor mending. So yeah, there's a couple of thresholds where you're gonna be like, I'm gonna die, but if you get those hots down in time, you're good. But you know, it's a timing thing, that's for sure. Is this? Can please hit my balls, please, oh please. Ball is life. Yes, ball is life. Especially when you're healing and if you need sustain, you better be hitting balls. Balls is about sustain. Sustain the balls. Sustain them, I say. Sustain them. Pug life, y'all. It's pug life. Did you find a good rotation for the Stamina Warden? I have a hard time with timing due to all the different buff timers. Yeah, Warden has like the rotation on Warden is way different, isn't it? You know, it's funny because Outcast even proved that Wardens can push out good DPS. That was another thing I really like. I really like where Outcast has been going lately with his content. Because like his builds are were strong already, but now he's diversifying the builds, maximizing each of its performance based on the playstyle that he's accustomed to. Goes into the rotation, and he's been, you know, really kind of pushing, you know, okay, well, this is how we approach this problem. That is where the Slimes Crawl One Piece comes in, right? And you get the pen from the Crags, right. Like I said, I think your pen value is going to, depending on your champion point allocation, is going to be good for PvE, right? For PvE, you're going to be really good, but you have to go ahead and get that that crit up. That's the only thing I'm thinking in the back of my head. I could be wrong. I'd have to take a look at the numbers in front of me, but. Now look, if that tank gets low, hit it down, get the hots down, and you're usually good to go. So it's like a hybrid tank. That's why he is a little squishy. I was wondering, I'm like, this tank is a little squishy. But that's fine. Once again, it is Elder Scrolls. Just got to be aware of it, especially as a healer. Hit my balls! Don't let him go! Damn it! The balls are good for you. I promise. We'll give ourselves a little cushion. Alright. Question: if I have 5-piece Thunder Flame and heavy attack with 2-hand, does the proc apply to everyone it hits? Yeah. Right. Yeah, should. Actually, it should. That's a good idea. I might have to switch that out. I don't like the idea of me using the thing, but right. No, you're right. The heavy attack, because the passive and 2-hander, when you do a heavy attack, it'll hit 3 other additional targets. So everybody with that would get the applied effect. Right. That should happen. That's actually really good, Mustang. That's a good point. They ain't about that ball life, Mystic. They need... I know, right? What the fuck? I do my job. I do my job. Come on now. Get out of the circle. You're standing in crap. Now you stand in it. Now you get out of it. Hit that. Get that heal off. Get that. That's when you need the minor mending. When you see somebody dip and your life's well over like 70 at least 70-80%, hit it. Hit the hot. Go in with it. I hate always using dual wield, but in my stamina DK I could use that too. Right, because then you also get the finisher, Mustang. Keep that in mind, because that's really nice too. Because when you do the follow up and you hit the finisher and you put it down the standard, use the standard. Use the other. The one doesn't give you the major brutality. You'll be dependent on pots, but you'll get a 40% increase to your heavy attack. You get the follow-up, put the standard down, use the executioner. Big, big difference. Huge difference. With y'all, please hit my balls, man. I wish, like, come on, man. Like, I mean, I try to tell them to hit them all the time, you know. Look, I'm throwing balls. I am. Hit my... Somebody please hit those balls! People want to know, like, oh, I'm running out of resources. It's right there. There's balls in front of you. Hit them. They're good. I promise. Hit them. Hit them. Hit them. Hit them. Hit them. Plus it deals damage. Like on everybody else I use the healing orbs except the Night Blade. We'll give a little cushion here to get the ads down. Nice. I hate the stun. And like my Dwemer there, that ranger, the person doing the range build, when he sees that, he should be jumping all over that. He should be like, I'm going to move up a little bit. Just now, see how I did that? I used the torment so I could get that heal off and then cover the distance for the loss that I was going to endure. Makes me not even want to give out my balls anymore. Do you think Magicka Templar would be on again in DPS? I think a few minor things have to change. Statistically speaking, it looks good, but rotation and some of the applied effects when going through it is what's causing the mag temp to kind of drop off, you know, towards the top end. I think that's the problem. Statistically, math and stat-wise, it looks good. Problem of it is rotation is becoming the issue. Because between your derated effects, your applied major sorcery, you know, everything else being applied and spamming, that's the issue. You got to think Stamplar, you know, has the light, right? The copy's damage, where, you know, the mag doesn't have it. It's purifying. And that makes a huge difference. Plus the passive for the Stam is a lot more beneficial. So those passives and everything has been a contributing factor in the overall performance. I mean, it still can do end game, but it's not looking as good in you know, as far as like when you're taking a look at overall damage performance. But when it comes to finishing phase, now that's another thing though. During finishing phase, when you're taking a look at the other Magicka tunes, that's where the Magicka Templar shines. Because if you build it right, you can do a nice, and I mean a nice amount of finishing phase damage-wise if you spec it right. But you suffer for initial burst damage compared to some of the other classes. But would I say I would restrict it? No. You could still play it all the way up to vet, even as a mag DPS. But you just got some issues. A couple little minor things that need to be ironed out. Like, World of Warcraft was the worst. Every time you saw a fucking nerf for PvP, it affected PvE so dramatically, the class wasn't even viable. Did they read the scroll? Oh, fuck, man. Really? I was wondering, what the hell? This is being way too easy. Could have read the scroll. I don't know. That dude has a very low life. 17. That's not too bad. 16 to 17. Still a little low in my opinion. Right there's why. Gonna hit this. Now look. He's gonna get that increase. That's huge. I don't think we got that. Oh, okay. I wish they'd fix that set too. Mystic, why are tanks nowadays running Alkosh? Lewis, you did that on purpose. Main tanks shouldn't be. The mitigation sucks. Off tanks I can see. Like, I can see off tanks doing it every day of the week. But literally, like, I hate healing a tank. A main tank in a trial with Alkosh. His mitigation's the worst. It's the fucking worst. It's the fucking worst ever. Sucks. Like, I have a DPS build with Alkosh. I prefer it on my DPS. But support tank, I could see. This way, deal some damage. You can build like a crit tank. You can tank, you know, one of the bosses or ads. Keep them off to the side. That's completely doable to me, but primary tank in the middle of fucking mechanics, mitigation becomes important, as well as resource management. Not a fucking debuff, motherfucking A. That's another thing. Out of all the fucking years I've ever played, fucking putting a fucking shit on a crit stat on a main tank. What the fuck? What the fuck? And yet they call that meta. I know you do. I'm just messing with it. I know, dude. You hit it right there, too. You knew. You knew. You're like, wait till we see Mystic's response on this one. Fucking ugly as fuck is what it is.
A lot.
And fucking didn't want to talk about min-max. Get the fuck out of here. I'll fucking smack motherfuckers. We're so mad. Oh, that was 2 keys, wasn't it? Okay, slick. Okay, I guess it was hard mode. Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. Cool. Good deal. But yeah, I wanted to do the video. You know, I'm the topic of discussion, and people are like, "Oh, Mystic doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's to the range. He's fucking delusional." But yet, who was talking about the over-penetrating value first? Out of all the content creators, rewind, get the timestamp. Who talked about penetrating value first? I got like 10 fucks out of you in one time. Yes, you did, Lewis, because I hate it. I hate it so bad. I mean, healing it. Dude, like when I am in a vet trial, the first thing I ask is, if I'm on a healer, the first thing I ask is, what is our main, not the off tank. I don't care what the off tank's wearing. The off tank can be spec on a lot of, if he can taunt and just hold one of the bosses if he's needed, okay, cool, bet. You want to put out caution on off tank, okay, I'm cool, man. You ain't gonna hear me bitch. But if I'm healing and our main tank says I'm wearing out caution, I'll be like, oh fuck no, I am out of here. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because his mitigation is sucky. It's those points that when if a healer drops resources because he has to take care of a squish ball like paperweight, shit can go south. Mystic runs meta. No. I don't want to run meta. I don't want to be meta. I don't want to be. No. I want people outside the mindset. I feel like meta is the misconception of what is the best scenario. And that is necessarily not the case depending on each class. Like I said, I walked into this game, when I first walked into this game, everybody was wearing Twiceborn Star with the Thief and the Shadow Mundus. Didn't matter what fucking class you were. Didn't matter if you were a Mag, Stam, Templar, Sorcerer, DK, didn't fucking matter. Everybody was running the same shit. I wanted to fucking kick people's heads in. I just wanted to literally smack the shit out of people is what I wanted to do. I was like, who's paying attention to math? Sure in the fuck is it you guys? And then the community was just, and then they're stacking CP. They're doing all sorts of bad stuff. I'm like, oh my God, help me. What did I walk into? What is this? That's what I had to do. I had to walk into crap. And then they're like, we did the math. No, you fucking didn't. Trust you and me. You did not fucking do the math. You were completely mathematically challenged at that point. Jeez. And I'm just saying, you know, there are certain situations. I'm not a mathematician. I am not a mathematician. But, you know, I used to work with diminishing returns in my everyday life at one time. So I understand percentage values a little bit better in certain things. And in this game, I try not to get carried away. And back in the day, I used to have spreadsheets. I used to put all my variables and my calculations on Excel. Because that's how anal I was back then. And now I don't give a shit. So, whatever. And then you could get the bar sheets. Shield stacker. I know. You're never going to let me live that down, are you, Storm? Oh, but they let me do it, Storm. You can't blame me. Zoss allows me to shield stack. That makes it all right, right? Yeah? Yeah, give me a thumbs up, Storm. If Zoss allows me to do it, I should do it, right? Right? You know how many times I'd be dead if I wasn't for shield stacking in this game? How many times I would have croaked? This way more often, I guarantee it. Way more. No, not the evil face, Storm. No. Shield stacking's allowed. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to let it go. But yeah, there it is. Don't take it from me. Take it from the horse's mouth, right? Don't. If I'm the topic of discussion, I tell people, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Fine. Don't have at it. Whatever. But take it from the horse's mouth. Take it from the executive director for Elder Scrolls. Take it from their own content creators. They've come a long way. We put all differences aside. I'm not going to go ahead and make videos ragging on them, but I don't want toxicity fed into the community. I don't want classes ostracized out of content, and I don't want players, believing one set scenario fits one situation doesn't fits all scenarios. In this game, it's not designed like that. That would be mathematically flawed due to the innate passives for each class and each race, and according to your mundus. So mathematically speaking, those are the issues. I don't really have issues with Sorks and PvP. It's the damn ganking Nightblades. Yeah, Nightblades can be a pain. I'll tell you what, a good Nightblade, if they get me on a shield drop, take me out quicker than shit every day of the week. If my shield drops and Nightblades get on top of me, I'm dead. I'm dead to rights. There's no recovery. Good stream, Mystic, as always. Have a good day. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. Unnerf DK. Unnerf DK. Nerf Nightblades. No, you know who needs a baseball bat? They don't need a Nerf bat. They need a baseball bat. Is Templar tanks in PvP. Has anybody seen Templar tanks in PvP? Templars are automatically really good for sustain. Put a mag Templar tank in PvP with even a decent build, and you are going to have a hard time killing his ass. Why? He cleanses. He mitigates. I mean, cleanse, mitigate, deals enough damage to, slowly dwindle you down, but you can't almost kill him. It's almost impossible to kill the bastard. Templar tanks, man. And people will talk about DKs. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Templar tank needs a fucking baseball bat to its friggin' kneecaps. It needs to be brought down a little bit. And I hate saying that because you have to be precarious about how you would do it, but because it affects its PvE game. That's what, a lot of the effects affects Templar tank PvE. But in PvP, it's so badass. Jeez. Damn. Alright, guys, I'm going to let you go. Once again, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you, everybody, for your support. The ones who've been with me. I appreciate it. And once again, to all the trolls, man, I don't care if they believe me. I don't care. I've been here. I had the videos proving the diminishing returns, the over-penetrating values, how to test, how to do this. Am I always right? Nope. I'm human. Like Gilliam said, we all are human. I just walked by Templar tanks. I don't blame you. Fuck Templar tanks. Fuck a Templar tank. Those bastards. Buff Stamplar for what content? I don't know. No, we're talking about Mag Templar tanks, guys. Like, if you've seen them in PvP, oh my god, they're horrendous to take out. They're just horrendous. They're like, they heal, they cleanse, I'm like, oh my god, help me. I can't kill this bastard even if I try. Permablock builds are bad too. They're permablock builds suck. They suck. But at least you can debuff. At least you can debuff a permablock build, right? And fear it and whatever. But a Templar tank, Mag Templar tank, you friggin' debuff it, cleanse. Okay, you debuffed me. Let me cleanse. Done. You're like, holy shit. This guy does not like trolls. No, definitely. The trolls definitely are, they're real. And people are going to hate me. I've come to accept it. I've taken on that mantle by becoming a content creator. So anyways, I'm going to let everybody go. If anybody has questions, comments, please post below. Thank you for watching. I'm Mr. Craven. This is ESO Daily. And once again and always, have a nice day.